that's where we're at so far. The notches are pretty well done. They need to be cleaned up a little bit, but and some edge work, so let's do that. So I'm going to work on the base and just use my little notcher to take off little tiny flakes. And the same thing that I was doing before, where I was evening out the edge. I'm doing that now again, but just on a much smaller scale. And I'll work on symmetry too at the same time, but if generally you need to do a little bit more of that later on. Now I'm mostly pushing in at this point to put as little amount of stress as possible on this weak spot, because there's only one point here that's holding this together as I'm working the base. But that's okay. This last little bit of edge work will really push your flint knapping work to the next level. You just, like, it'll take probably another 10 or 15 minutes of just the tiniest little chips working on symmetry and everything else. It's a little tricky, but it's worth it in the end to go through and do all the careful chipping. I am also going to do a little bit of work in the notches here, just to even out the edges, and look and see if that needs any shaping as well. So there's the base. I'll probably have to come back to it once I do the edges, but for now, let's carry on. So this is how the edge is looking. It's not perfect yet at all, but give it a little abrade. You don't want to abrade the parts that are already finished though, because that's you won't be able to get it as sharp again. There's no reason to unsharpen your nice finished work anyways, so. Okay, so one side is getting to a shape that I want. I'm going to work on this other side now, but it's going to need a bit more work. I'll show you that in a bit. So do you remember all that stuff about flake pattern that I said early on? Well, that's all gone now. And it's okay because I was not really after a big, nice, widely spaced flake pattern. I'm more going for shape now. It does, those things still make a big difference though, because if you start getting step fractures, instead of a good flake pattern, you end up with issues later on, where your flakes don't go all the way, you don't get a good profile. Okay, so that's fairly even now. I need to do some more work on it though. But for now, that's the notching and the primary edge work done. I'll have to work on a little bit more symmetry and then the final edge work to get it looking real nice. The base is a little bit off, but I'll fix that up. Actually, I think I can do that right now. Let's just see. Now I'll have to go around and do a whole bunch, but that's what it looks like now. Probably will have to work on it for quite a bit more. We're halfway done now, so let's, I guess, keep going. So this edge is to a point where I think I'm happy with it. I might have to work on some symmetry again, but this side mirrors the other side. You can see the difference. No, it doesn't look that different on camera, I guess, but it makes a real difference when you're holding the arrowhead. Just have a razor sharp, nice, clean edge rather than kind of jagged. You get the symmetry down. The arrowhead, I don't know, just pushes your flint knapping to a different level. Well, I don't know if I even was recording, but I thought I was. It might have just stopped and if I ran out of time, but so I've been working on the symmetry, and I think I've just about got it to a point where I'm happy with it. I'll take a good shot of it in the end, but I'm just doing a little tiny bit of work around the edges to just nail down that symmetry and smooth out the edges. There's a couple little spots that I just want to deal with quickly. So. Actually, you know what? It's alright. Cool.